Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bill Levinson, Managing Partner with Levinson and Associates. I just want to start off by thanking everybody for joining today's presentation. I know we ran a few minutes behind. We have a couple of guest speakers on with us today, and one person had an issue logging in, which is pretty typical, so not a big deal. Everything is normal and back up 100% now. So I do want to thank everybody for taking the time. This is a very special lead webinar, just mainly because we have 3 guest speakers that all bring something to the table from different walks of life in the life insurance industry, if you will. So we have Stephen, who actually created the Mortgage Protection Lead Program. We have Kent from Texas. You've probably heard him in the past. A very successful, proven MDRT producer who really stands behind the program and is very loyal to us here at Levinson. So we speak very highly of him, and we appreciate him taking the time to speak to our agents. The third guest speaker is brand new. He's a newer agent with us who's been working in the mortgage protection arena for about 10 to 15 years now. In fact, he just joined the call. So his name is Jared, and he brings a lot to the table because he deals with, obviously, a lot of millennials, but his clients range anywhere from 18 to in the 80s. So he's going to share some of his thoughts and strategies and why the LEAD program is working so good for him. And the crazy thing is, this all started from just a testimonial that he wrote into our office just to share his thoughts and say, wow, I love the program. And I said, you know, I'd love you to speak to our agents and give some insight and share what's working for you, because we have 10,000 agents across the country, and most of them have not tried the program yet. So I think it's important to hear from Steve's side, who actually created the program, Kent, who's a proven, known MDRT producer in the central part of the country, and then Jared, who's on the complete opposite coast, who brings something very unique to the table. So I encourage everyone, take out a pen and paper, jot down any notes, questions that you might have, but this is going to be an awesome webinar. And I think if you haven't tried the program yet after today's call, I think you'll definitely believe it's worth a shot and place at least 1 or 2 orders and see how it goes. If you have used the program in the past, you're going to learn some new strategies that are going to help you turn more prospects into sales. So great stuff for everyone on the call. We also have Joseph Lochran, our Marketing Vice President, on with us as well, and he's going to share some of his strategies and talk about his slides as well. So first off, we're going to dive right in because we have a lot to cover in a short amount of time. The Levinson Exclusive Mortgage Protection Lead Program. I'm going to go over these 4 bullets in front of you. There are no shared leads. Now, Steve will dive into this more, but what that means is with this particular program, there is only 1 lead sold to you. Now, that doesn't mean the client didn't fill out multiple mortgage coverage cards, okay, mortgage protection cards, if you will. So there could be other agents working the prospects. So you have to be unique and you have to strategize, which you're going to learn a little bit more about today. Each order is exclusive to each individual agent. Okay, like we said, no shared leads. No one else sees your particular batch. So just keep that in the back of your mind. The minimum order is 12 leads. Lead cost is $18 a lead. Now, this is a co-op deal. So we actually participate in some of that cost share. The only thing we ask is to make sure that any and all business written comes back through us here at Levinson and Associates. Okay, obviously, if it turns into a health insurance policy or maybe mutual funds or different investment products, we don't handle that type of business. But anything in the life insurance, annuity, supplemental arena, please make sure that goes back through our office. And there's no commission reductions for participating in the program, so there's really no reason to sell outside of our coverage and our carriers. If you look on the left side, the leads ordered are anywhere from 12 to 20, and with every batch of leads, even the minimum order of 12, you're going to get 2 to 4 free leads. Okay, that's 100% free, and that's to make up for any issues. If you have somebody that's not quite as healthy as they wrote down on the card, or if maybe there was a spouse listed and there is no spouse, whatever the issue is, we give 2 to 4 free leads just to make good on any leads that weren't 100%. There's no minimum order requirement. So what that means is once you give us your information, you're not automatically set up for reoccurring orders every single week. You can go once a week, you can go 4 times a month, once a year, totally up to you. The way everything works is every Monday you will get an email that says you need to put your order in before the close of business that day. You receive your leads within 24 hours, typically by 6 p.m. that Tuesday. And once again, all lead business must be placed through us. Very, very important. As you know, we take a lot of time, effort, and it's a lot of cost on our side to allow our agents to be able to participate in this type of program. Okay, we're going to move forward here. Joe's going to talk about our lead reimbursement program that every Levinson agent is eligible for. Joe?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So what's really unique about our exclusive lead program is we tied in a lead reimbursement system for agents that order leads. So in this example, any agent that orders a mortgage lead that actually calls the client, makes the sale and places the policy, will actually reimburse you for that lead cost for every single policy that you write out of those lead batches. So obviously the policy must pass the free look period, but we have agents that have been using this lead program for years. It's not uncommon for us to be sending out checks on a weekly or monthly basis. I think the last one we had was even a couple $100 for those lead reimbursements. So we believe so strongly in that program and in this system that we're willing to kind of put the money where our mouths are and actually reimburse those agents for any cases that they write. So it's very unique. Not many other agencies or groups have something like that they can really speak to as far as reimbursing for those costs you're actually going to be paying for out of pocket.
Okay, thank you, Joe. Okay, so our first guest speaker, who's it's his first time on our webinar, is Jared from California. And like I just said on the opening slide, the way this started, he's been very successful with us. And he wrote us an email and said, I love the program. It's working out great for me. These are my sales. And this went on for a few weeks and then a few months. And I said, you know what? I would love for you to get on our webinar and share these tips and strategies with our other agents out there. So once again, out of the goodness of his heart, he's taking time out of his busy schedule to share his insight with our Levinson agents out in the field. So I want to introduce Jared from California. We're going to start with our first question here. We're going to go over this pretty briefly, but I wanted to kind of nail everything and ask questions as I'm pretending to be a Levinson Street agent out there. So first off, Jared, your overall setup and the way you approach lead calling, basically your business process for when you receive the leads to either selling a lead or moving on to the next lead. If you can just kind of share your thoughts on that, that would be great.
Sure. Absolutely. Thanks, Bill, very much. What I always do, I'm very organized. I like to be organized, so I encourage everyone to always print out the leads and make notes. People are busy. They don't always want to talk about life insurance. So if you try still in the morning, they don't pick up. You could leave a message. Prospects don't always return phone calls. So try them again in the afternoon, and then try them again in the evening. So just know, don't lose confidence if you don't reach people on the first or second phone call. Just keep on trying them. I would say try up to 3 times in a day, every 4 hours. And it's very important to take some notes on all your leads.
And then, so basically, yeah, I'm sorry, Jared. What were you going to say?
No, please, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so basically, so as soon as you get these leads, obviously you make the call, probably within the first hour, I assume, and then you typically, if you get a voicemail and you don't hear back, you follow up, in a couple of days, and then maybe a week later, and do you use like an Excel spreadsheet, or do you just print out each lead and hand write some notes on them and keep them in a binder?
Yes. So what I'll do is I'll print out the leads, and then even if I can't reach someone, even 3 times in a week, I'll still hold that name for a few weeks. I just feel, the rule of thumb is that if I call someone and they don't pick up the phone maybe 6, 7, 8 times, then I'm like, okay, I'm going to move on. But definitely, just continue to try them. In all honesty, some people just, they won't answer the phone. But I want to mention that I've tried several mortgage protection leads in the past, and I've never been offered where you get some additional free leads with your order, at that cost. So I feel like it makes up for the ones that don't answer the phone. You get some extra leads, and the price it's very, very competitive. I mean, a lot of places will charge you, and you can call them. They'll charge you per. They'll do a mailer per 1,000, and whatever is returned is what you receive. So with here, you get more of a guarantee that that you're going to receive X amount of leads, guaranteed. So I really like the fact that that's offered, with your company.
Yeah, and let everyone know, what were you paying before you were introduced to us? What was the mortgage protection lead cost that you were paying?
I'm afraid to tell you because then you're gonna raise the rate. No,
Yeah.
don't do that now.
No,
but I mean, I would say around it's $35 is or right around there is what other places will charge. And some places there is, most places, to be honest, there's no guarantee. They mail out per 1,000, and whatever is returned is what you receive. So what makes the Levinson organization different is that they really want you guys to succeed. They're giving you a guarantee. Your leads come in and they are fresh. People actually remember. There's a short script. If you read the script and talk about why you're calling, most people will be like, oh yeah, you know what, I filled it out and we're looking, and so the ones you're talking to actually they're fresh. They actually do remember filling out the request form.
Yeah, which is obviously very important. Also, we were talking earlier, like if you can share some of your tips, like I know you had some great ideas without getting
Sure.
into all your secrets, but like with the if there's a client on the phone and they're still a little on the fence, you had a great idea with talking about, well, Mr. or Mrs. Client, but once you reach, the next, if they're 40, maybe 41 or 50, talk
Sure.
about that, how the rate obviously goes up when they hit the next stage and how you lock them in.
Okay, absolutely. So, being in the field for almost 14 years now, I'm sure everyone listening can relate to me that I think that one of the biggest issues besides qualifying is you get people that want to buy, but they're just they want to look around, they're still thinking about it. If you check their birthdays, if you can find, and it doesn't always work out, but a sense of urgency to buy the insurance now rather than just doing it in the future. So to give you a scenario, as you guys know, a lot of most life insurance companies, they're going to round you to age nearest birthday every 6 months. So if you happen to have a client and his birthday is in December, well, his birthday, they're going to round him soon. So a man who is in his mid-50s, 56 versus 57, there's a difference on the premiums, whether it's preferred or standard. And from my experience, no one wants to pay more. If you can show them a solution where you're helping them, you're basically saying, look, I want to help you. I want to lock you in. They really appreciate that. You're showing that you're different from the competition. You want to help them save money. And I also know that with some companies, such as Mutual of Omaha, they go by the actual age. So sometimes you might have a guy that his birthday is going to be coming up in 2 months. And with that scenario, you can look for a carrier that goes by the actual age, and there's a sense of urgency to tell them, look, if you don't procrastinate, we can get you in and get you qualified at your current age. And when you do that, it triggers them to act on it, make a decision, and to start the qualification process. So I've had a lot of success by looking for a sense of urgency. Now again, sometimes you'll have a client, his birthday is in January or February, so there's nothing you can do there in that scenario. But in other situations, just make a note to look at their birthdays, because it definitely will help out. And also I want to mention, for another good tip, is the living benefits. It really is an eye opener. I mean, when I first started out, all we had was just death insurance. All you really sold was just a regular term policy. Nowadays, with today's products, you have living benefits. Anaco's got a great non-med up to $250. Transamerica is very competitive on their living benefits, and that is definitely a great sale, because you're showing your clients, well, what happens if I become sick? Now you can explain to them that they could actually have a critical illness protection rider in the event that they have a heart attack, a cancer. I feel that we all know someone, we all know a story of someone that maybe lost their home unexpectedly. A lot of people who lose their homes is due to a critical illness. So when you share that with them, a lot of times they go, you know what, one of my friends of his friends, you know what, that happened to them. So they can actually, you engage with them, ask them questions. So again, living benefits is a great product to mention, because a lot of people are not offering it. They're just trying to sell them just a regular term policy.
Yep, great point. So yeah, you can talk about the new life insurance that pays while you're still alive versus the old type of life insurance that you will never see the benefit from. Obviously, it's peace of mind, but with living benefit term products, you really win on both ends. So it's a great product to talk about. All right, before we let you go, is there anything else that you want to share with our agents and our field force out there, and then we'll wrap up and move on?
Yes, there is actually. Again, I hope you guys know that this really is the best lead program that I've ever called. I've tried several lead companies before, and I just tell people that when you put an order in for, let's say you buy 20 leads, okay? Maybe the first order you buy, maybe you only sell 3 or 4 people, okay? Now, I just recommend that if for anyone out there that's taking it very seriously, wants to learn, give it a fair chance. You try a couple of mailers. The more leads you have, the more people you're going to contact. So your return on investment is going to be stronger. So I just feel that sometimes you may get a batch, maybe you can't reach people. So just I encourage everyone to try more than just one batch when it comes to testing the leads, especially at the price. And with the freebies, I definitely think that is a good strategy when it comes to working the leads.
All right. Thank you very much, Jared. We appreciate it. And let's move on to the next speaker now. Kent now has been with us for a long time now. He's one of the first agents that tried and piloted the program for us years ago. And what's great is he has and I don't want to steal his thunder, I'll let him share it with you, but he was here at our expo, and he had a great outcome from one of the lead batches that I'll let him share. So without further ado, I want to introduce Kent from Texas. We appreciate you taking time out of your day to join us and to share some tips with our agents.
Thank you, Bill. I appreciate your introduction. I'll start out with with your little. It's a good segue to my testimony. I was at the expo and happened to be working some leads. The short story is my brother-in-law picked me up in Tampa after flying from Dallas to Tampa, and he's a newly assigned agent with Levinson, and I jumped in the car with Terrell, and we drove from Tampa to the expo. And in the car, I was going through the script and kind of teaching him how I speak to the clients or the leads on the phone. And actually got a hold of one of the leads from the leads list, and we spoke, and he said, well, that's not my right address, and that's, some of that information's wrong you gave me, and I don't even remember sending you, this information. I said, well, I've got your date of birth, I've got this and that. We started talking. He said, well, I'm not really interested in the mortgage protection, but I tell you what I have is I have a life insurance policy. It's about to expire, and I need to rewrite it. And I said, well, let's talk about that. So we went through the conversation, and bottom line is we turned that in on the last day of the expo, and that resulted in a $720 a month commission or premium. So I don't know what that is, annualized over $8,000, but that was turned in. It got approved this last week, and their first premium's coming in next week. So that's a big success story. I think it's, you have your singles, you have your doubles, you have your triples, you have your home runs, and it used to be a home run in my world, and now I like to think that it's a double. So that was a really good little story that everybody should hear, because a lot of times, as Jared mentioned, you're going to be making phone calls, and a lot of times there may be a sale or may not be. The reality is that there is a nice one in there that's going to really pay off and really be worth your time. And so, Bill, I think you had some questions, and I'll if you want to ask me, or I'll just address, the talk as I see fit. It's whatever you choose.
Yeah. We'll kind of do both. Just the first question we heard from Jared, and I just wanted to know your system and the way when you first get the leads, and how often do you follow up until you make a sale, or when do you move on? Just kind of your 100-foot overview.
Absolutely. I receive the leads from Joe, and immediately I print those out, and then I write in the top right-hand corner of the lead the date that I received it, just to stay focused and in order and organized, as Jared said he does. But I used to be I'm still a very technology savvy person and like to think that it works, but sometimes old school is the best method, and I believe in that, because when you start getting into a lot of leads, the best follow-up is basically your notes that you've handwritten on that page. So print them out, 3-hole punch them, put them in a 3-ring binder, make your notes at the back and on the front of the page, and make the phone call immediately. Don't wait. I don't go to bed at night. I don't stop calling until 9 o'clock hits at night here in Texas. I make the call to every single person, whether I leave a message or not. Be the first to call, get the prospect on the phone to have a conversation, to validate the facts provided on that lead sheet, ask questions. It's an icebreaker. Everybody remember that sheet is just an icebreaker. As I said, the conversation starts, and then you don't know where it's going to go. But if you get you a business owner on the phone, I can tell you that your premium is going to be much higher than if you get a young person that's very healthy. So I joke around. I like unhealthy old people that smoke, and the reason is the premiums are much higher, and everybody knows that. So as Jared said, age nearest is a good topic. When you're on the phone, living benefits is an excellent topic. I would even go further and say talk to them when you start getting the application moving on child riders. That increases your premium by $10 a month roughly for a $15,000 or $20,000 coverage for 1 or 4 children. How many do they have? And then finally, I guess a return of premium is a good topic, because we all know the young people have lower premiums, but the premiums are so inexpensive when you're healthy and you're young. And a lot of people don't like insurance, because term insurance specifically, because there's nothing at the end if you outlive it. Well, a return of premium can be a really nice tool, financial tool, to return $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $70,000 to a couple at the age of 65 years old when they need that extra money. So talk to them about the return of premium product. So one comment I'll leave with that topic is if they ask you, if you're talking to them, just tell them that you're calling to discuss the return of the questionnaire as a result of their recent refinance or purchase of their home. So that's my point, is there's a comment that I always lead into, and it says, I'm calling to discuss the return of your questionnaire as a result of your recent refinance or purchase of your home. If you're writing any notes, I would use that comment.
Yeah, that's good. In fact, we'll put that in the email that we send out to everybody today. Also, number 2 here is, what have you consistently seen in the LEADS program since starting the program? You know, maybe even, you know, on the average, are you selling maybe 2 out of 10, would you say? I know obviously it varies from week to week and premiums vary, and that could change everything. But on the average, what are you seeing roughly?
Yeah, I'm always saying this, and I really pride myself on being a real person and being transparent in this talk, and even with my clients. It's just me. So I give you the good, bad, and ugly. You'll get more no's than yes. I don't think that's any kind of eye-opening comment, but you will get a lot more no's in this business than yeses. I typically, when I get 20 leads, I'll typically move 5 or 6 of them into underwriting. Those you'll get, 3 to 4 that'll get approved, because obviously some will fall out because of health issues. There'll be one sale that's significant. That $720 a month, I think everyone would agree, is significant. That will pay some people's mortgage. I have 3 children, so there's groceries that need to be eaten, and there's electric bills that need to be paid, and they all add up. So don't take the $20 a month ones for granted. Those are singles, and those singles add up. And before you know it, you have a $4,000 or $5,000 base, which is the security of your family. So if you sell enough small ones, the big ones will come. That's a theory that I have. So there's other theories. You get a lot of no's because the yeses are coming. So just sell the small ones, and the big ones will come.
Yeah, that's a great point. I remember probably 4 to 6 weeks ago, you had another monster case that was in the $14,000, $15,000 area. So they're in there, but you just got to be consistent and keep your foot on the gas. All right, and then the last question here is, any good maybe tips or suggestions to other agents on how to make the program successful? Is there any one-liners that kind of open the door, anything that works for you that you're willing to share?
Well, I will go back to one comment I made earlier. I believe wholeheartedly in seeking out business owners. And the reason that I think everybody should really have their radar on regarding business owners is because the premiums are significantly higher. They have a higher need, they have a higher net worth, and they have higher incomes, and they write their checks from their business. So if everybody can just kind of get over the fear, if there's any, about talking to a CEO or an owner of a company. He's a guy that puts his pants on one leg at a time like the rest of us, and he has a need. And we're the people that fill that need, because, listen, key person insurance is a critical type of insurance. If somebody loses their life, there's a mother and children sitting out there not able to pay their mortgage, but as equally important, they're not able to keep the business operating. So your goal is to become someone that helps them. So I would highly recommend that everybody seek out what these people do for a living. And most of them are going to work for a company and have a typical corporate paycheck. But every now and then you run into a business owner. The guy that I just recently sold the policy to, that's a $720 or a month premium, he made $450,000 a year. So, that's a big hitter. So you guys have to understand that these people are out there, and it's a crapshoot, but every now and then a little luck goes a long way. So keep that in mind. But, please understand how critical it is to have support from the organization. Like, I'll give an example. Joe and Deborah are just very, very good about serving. And the Levinson organization is a serving group of people. And I say that I come from a family of insurance, and my cousin owns a large business and was one of the top insurance salespeople in the United States, and that's how I got started. But I got hooked up with the Levinson organization because my cousin's shop is not designed to support agents. The Levinson group supports agents in a way that's next to none. They have the tools in place. They get you the right leads. So I would just really encourage everyone to just have some trust with what they're doing for you, because people like Joe and Deborah really go to bat for you, and they go the extra mile on impaired cases. And there's a lot of unhealthy people that are going to come out of these leads. Take it to the next level, because that's what Levinson does real well. They don't stop at no and declines. They move it to the next level, and most agencies don't do that.
Thank you, Ken. That's great stuff. We really appreciate that. And once again, everyone has to remember, Ken is doing this on his own nickel, on his own time. So we really appreciate him and Jared and Steve taking the time. So Ken, once again, thank you. And let me just add real quick, along those lines, what Ken was talking about, we now have a program that you can go out and market to these business owners and offer free evaluations, okay? We have a carrier that will take a couple of days and put together a complete portfolio and evaluation for that particular business, which helps you get your foot in the door to talk about disability insurance, key man, partnership cases, whatever the situation is. So leverage our folks here in the office and call them on any situation, underwriting, like Ken said, anyone unhealthy, maybe they couldn't get insurance in the past. Get all their information, call Amanda, our in-house underwriter, let her do all the legwork for you. We'll find a solution. There is never going to be a client out there that you won't be able to get a policy for, okay? We have everything covered across the map. So keep that also in the back of your mind. Okay, so let's move forward here to our last guest speaker, Stephen, who actually created the program, and he happens to be a very close friend of my father's, even before I got in the business 20-plus years ago. So we rolled out the program now. We're going on 4 years. And keep in mind, we don't make any money from this. It actually costs us money to have you participate. So the proof is in the pudding here. Why do we keep offering this program week after week, year after year? Because agents are coming back and buying leads. So I think that there's no sugarcoating. I mean, if you look, if we're still offering the program every week, obviously it's working and growing. So it's great stuff here. Steve's going to dive into the first question on how are the leads generated? Are they shared and fresh? And what are the parameters for the leads? Steve?
Thank you, Bill. Thanks, everybody, for listening in today. My name is Steve, and as I've been introduced, I'm the creator of this lead program. And the first thing I want to address, obviously, is the first question. And these leads, the way they're generated is that as someone closes on a mortgage, and that might be a first mortgage, new mortgage, it may be a second mortgage or an equity line or anything like that, it has to be recorded in their local county courthouse. And that goes along with other events such as births and marriages and deaths and things like that. So it's then a matter of gathering this information from all the local county courthouses throughout the United States and having access to that. And that's how these leads are generated. These leads, as Bill or Joe had mentioned earlier, are not shared leads. They're distributed once and one time only to a Levinson agent. And generally speaking, from the time that it's been captured, the information, the data of the recording into the hands of the respective agent, it's probably within a week, maybe 10 days at most. It's not to say that some people who then, in other words, they get it. They get these things sent out to them pretty quickly. In a lot of cases, they're still looking for furniture if it's a new home and that kind of stuff. But anyway, once it's filled out, from their hands back to the agent is a matter of days. So from beginning to end, from when that closing occurred on that loan to when it actually has arrived as a lead to the agent is probably no more than 10 days to 2 weeks. And as was mentioned before, it's very rare that you have to do a lot of freshening up of someone's memory for them to remember that they filled something out. You know, not 90 plus times out of 100, they're going to say, "Oh yeah, sure, I said that, and in fact I sent it to you," and that's another matter. The parameters of the leads. I wanna explain this as carefully as I can. You know, for the people who have never ordered leads, it's suggested that you put some counties of your state in there, so you know you have a chance of capturing mortgages in those areas. The way the real estate market is these days, and it's not the good old days, and I'm going back in my career working leads like these for well over 20 years. You know, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, God, there were just a ton, multi-tons of leads every week. So what that results in is that we will first always try to fill the leads requested from respective counties. I will not give an agent a lead, even in a county that's been listed, if I don't feel it's a good lead. And what I mean by that is it's got to be a decent-sized mortgage, a decent-sized loan. It's got to be of ages of people that are certainly below the age of 75. And I can only tell you that those two parameters right there probably exclude anywhere from 25 to 35% of leads that we receive overall. There may be, if it's a husband and wife, if one of them may be, you know, 80 years old and the other one may be 70 years old. That's not a lead I want to put out to an agent. But to make a long story short, if you've got a few counties and I will tell you point blank, if you order 12, 15, or 18 or 20 leads, the chances of you filling the majority of those leads in the counties, unless you're going to give me every county in the state, is slim. You will find in most places that it's scattered all over the state. But the most important thing is the quality of the leads. And I'd rather give somebody a good quality lead that's 400 miles away than a lead in their requested county that I believe is subpar. There's more money to be made. I use the criteria. I look at a lead. Each and every lead is scrutinized. And if it passes muster, that means that lead would be suitable for me to call a prospect on a mortgage lead. And that's pretty much the criteria used. So I want you folks to understand that. You have to be comfortable and efficient with doing e-app business, because that's what primarily this business is going to come back to. You may have a few face-to-face, but the vast majority are going to be people that are going to be some distance away from you. So that's the parameters of leads.
All right, thank you, Steve. So we're running a little bit behind. So what we're going to do is on questions 2 and 3, we'll just kind of combine here. What are some keys to being successful with the program? And what are some realistic expectations based on your experience and what you're seeing out there? If you can share that, that would be wonderful.
Sure. I want to mention something, and I think Kent put a clear light on it. Mortgage leads are not the end all. In other words, that's not all you're going to get from these. Okay, it's a door opener. Now, what an agent has to be willing and capable of doing is watering the flower, of asking questions, of probing. You've got the prospect on the phone. It's your dime, and you should take full advantage of it. Most importantly is there's a few good, clear questions that you should ask people. One being, do they have life insurance in force? Kent mentioned a big case he closed. I'm sure that came up in conversation that he has a policy, but however it's coming to its end of the lock-in period. However you get to it, that opens many doors. The fact of it is, I'm not looking in my personal business life. Kent isn't looking in his personal business life. Anybody that's been successful with the leads are not looking in their personal business life to close $30 premiums on term policies or $50 premiums. That's fine. That covers your cost of an entire run, perhaps. But the fact of it is, the hidden gems, and he mentioned singles, doubles, triples, home runs. And the doubles, triples, home runs is where you should be gearing yourself for. And that's where asking good questions and listening to what the person on the other end is telling you is going to make you successful. That's where this sort of program is really going to pay big benefits to you, is ask the questions and listen and get it. And something very important, by the way, because I mentioned something about the e-apps and that kind of thing. You know, most people get turned off because all these agents want to come see them. I've used that for my benefit, and saying, I don't want to come see you. I want to give you a quote right now. I want to give you an idea of what's going to cost you. And they're so happy. They're so grateful to not have to, say, okay, yeah, I got to give you an appointment. You got to come. Some stranger's got to come to my home. So I use that as an advantage. E-apps to me has the best thing that ever happened. And Bill mentions how many years I've been in this business, and yeah, I go back to the days of, putting a shirt and tie on and fighting the traffic and going to an appointment and maybe getting stood up, maybe not making the sale and all that. Working from your home office, generally speaking, if you don't get out one of those prospects, what does it cost you? Okay, it cost you a few dollars. It didn't cost you anything more than that, So I plant that in my mind. And, the fact of it is that you have, if you order this on a consistent basis, and Jared mentioned something about that, is, it's sort of unfair to jump in once and say, well, let me give it a try and see how it works. Lightning can strike at any time. There's no question about it. But in all fairness, we are in an insurance business, and it's the law of numbers that we all deal with. And you have to say to yourself, what am I willing to commit financially? If it's 3 runs, if it's 4 runs, whatever it may be, because then at that point you will have a very clear indication of your success in this sort of lead program. And I bet you dollars to donuts, you'll be very happy with those results. Yep. As far as expectations, what you could expect from a program like this, I'll follow suit with what Kent was saying in regards to consistently staying in there, following up, being organized. But I would say there's no reason that this program alone, if you do it on a regular basis and you do it right, shouldn't at least result in 6 figures of income for you.
Yep, if worked properly, we all agree too. Okay, we gotta move forward here, Steve. I hate to cut you short, but we have about. Did you want to show?
Left. Did you want to show a sample lead? Okay.
Yep.
There we
go. We got it coming up next. All right, Steve. Thank you for your time. We're going to show a few of our lead resources, and then we'll close out the call. I know we're running a little bit over. So this is a sample lead on exactly what they will look like. In fact, we're going to send out an email to everyone on today's call, and we'll include a picture of this. We have some lead scripts. We have a Q&A section that's very, very helpful. And then we'll put in some of these neat programs that we spoke about earlier and what we're going to talk about right now. Joe is going to go over a few mailer programs that we have, some of his tips, a new sales contest, and then I have one slide and we'll end the call. Joe?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So I just want to talk about some other great lead programs that agents are seeing some success with. I'll start with the one on the left-hand side. This is a CoOp annuity lead program. Josh Hoffman in our office heads up the annuity division. He is at extension 24, but this is basically a direct mail lead program. The average response rate is about 2.5%, but keep in mind you're writing some IRAs and 401ks transferring over into index and fixed annuity products. So if you have any questions on that, please do reach out to Josh Hoffman. On the right-hand side, we have a CoOp final expense mailer. This is probably one of the more successful programs that we've seen for final expense mail pieces. The cost is just $330 per 1,000. That gets you the printing, the postage. You get to pick the zip codes, all the demographic information. We actually do these every Wednesday afternoon as the cutoff to actually order these leads. They're actually sponsored by also our agency and Transamerica. So you get a very reputable carrier on that mailer that goes directly to those clients, again, focused strictly on final expense products. Bill mentioned one of our newer sales contests. This is actually just for the annuity division. It's called the Levinson and Associates Kick Assets Annuity Sales Contest. You can see from here we've got some really neat incentives. The first level is complimentary E&O coverage for 1 full year, or you can take the cash equivalent at any one of these prize levels. That starts at $400 of cash equivalent. And then if you look towards the bottom there, based on how much indexed annuity business you write, we even have contests that go up to $1,500 cash equivalent, or even a VIP Vegas trip, a VIP 4-day cruise, or our tech package, which actually includes an iPad, an iWatch, our MacBook, and even Beats headphones. So a lot of great incentives on that Levinson Annuity department that you can take advantage of.
Okay, thanks, Joe. So we're going to breeze through. We have 2 minutes left, and then we're going to end the call. So our CoOp E&O policy, $395 for $1 million of coverage. That's about half the price of a typical E&O policy. And our policy covers B-plus rated companies or better. That's huge. And again, you can sign up through our website, takes 2 or 3 minutes, and use this stuff to build and recruit to your own hierarchy, because other agents can't get this stuff unless they're appointed through us. So everything that you're hearing about and everything that you're scratching your head saying, wow, I didn't know they had this, you can use all of this to build your own hierarchy. So it's great stuff here, and it's a lot of sizzle that's going to attract other agents. Okay, our brand new Levinson mobile app, this is just about done. It's going to be free download through iTunes or the Android App Store. You will be able to download the Levinson app and literally do everything from your smartphone, just like as if you were in front of your desktop computer in your office or your third bedroom. So, you talk selling online or using an e-application, selling over the phone, you'll literally be able to meet someone, say at a basketball game, introduce yourself, run a quote, run an underwriting assessment, fill out an application online with them next to you, hit submit, the exam gets ordered, and you are done. Okay, you can literally go through the whole process from A to Z in less than 10 minutes. And it's going to be all available through your iPhone or any smartphone or tablet. So that's really cool. The Levinson app, which will be introduced this month. Very excited about that. Okay, the upcoming agent training events. Okay, that's what you're on right now. We try to do these live webinars once a week and pick any hot topics, new products, concepts, anything that's going to help you get a leg up on your competition. So just a few that we're going to mention here. May 10th, 11 a.m. is the Fidelity Life product overview. Those are all non-med products issued in a day or two. Real neat stuff there. The next day, on the 11th, we talk about our accelerating underwriting program. On the 17th, we're going over the complete disability sales process from A to Z. And remember how I was talking about those free business evaluations? We're going to touch on that on the 17th. That is an awesome free program that you can go out and market to these business owners to get your foot in the door. These are things, along with our scholarship program, that are going to set you apart from your competition. Very important stuff here, and you need to at least know the basics, and then we'll take it from there. So that's an important one. Tuesday, May 17th. Don't miss that webinar. Great stuff there. Okay, so our last slide here, and as everyone knows, I love all the motivational stuff, and And I think it's important that every day, no matter what's going on in our personal lives, that we are 100% driven, hitting the phones with a smile on our face, motivated, driven, and being positive. It's the name of the game here. So as we all know, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, this is his latest saying here that was on his social media page. Think back 5 years ago. Think of where you're at today. Think ahead 5 years about what you want to accomplish. Be unstoppable, The Rock. So I love that saying, and I think we all need to constantly be moving forward and have two hats on. One looking straight at our day-to-day business process, the other looking north to see what's coming next. What new programs are out there? What can I learn and go market tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.? Great stuff. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate our guest speakers taking the time. Have a great rest of the week, a great weekend, and good selling. Take care.